Hello and welcome to part 3 of this video. And in this video is going to focus on one thing only, and it's going to be the 11-11-11 phenomena. And there is a solar eclipse that follows it on the 25th of November. What this shows, I believe, 11-11-11, and you'll see it when I show you the sign and the stars, is some sort of spiritual, possibly fallen angel release or activity, or some sort of satanic birthing. It's a very, very strange sign, and if you've seen the other videos, especially the ones on Virgo, this is going to shock you. You aren't going to believe that this is actually happening on this date. So if you haven't seen the other videos on Virgo, I encourage you to do so, just so you have a better understanding of what you're seeing. During 11-11-11, there were several movies that were made, and a lot of them had references to fallen angel themes. And you know, some of these movies weren't very prominent. However, some of them were. And probably the most famous one happened to be The Immortals. When The Immortals came out, you can take this story right out of the Bible. And you know, you have a Redeemer that comes down. He's chosen by God. He comes down. He destroys Satan or Apollyon or whoever you want to throw in there, the chief of the fallen angels. He obtains a weapon to do so. That's not in the Bible, but and he destroys these fallen angels who are trying to corrupt and destroy humanity. And it pretty much has a biblical following. Now, some similarities between this movie and Mecca, and you have the Kaaba in Mecca looks a lot like the box in the movie The Immortals, and very strange similarities. You also have an 11-11 theme at the Kaaba. You have a pair of minarets right here, you have another pair of minarets right here, and then a third pair right here. Is this some sort of spiritual portal? I don't know. I'm just simply saying that it looks very similar, and make your own conclusions. Another similarity is this gate. This gate looks an awful lot like the Hoover Dam. And you can see the Hoover Dam here, right here. And it's got these same 4 stanchions right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 4 stanchions right there. This is when the fallen angels are released into, once this dam or this gate is broken, this army floods the inside up here, and they end up, this guy right here ends up releasing the fallen angels. So I find it very strange that there are other signs with the Hoover Dam. If you have a $50 bill, you can fold it a specific way, and you get something that looks very similar to a Hoover Dam or a dam of some sort. You had Madonna at the Super Bowl as Isis, which is the wife of Nimrod, with the Hoover Dam looking chair, I'll say that. And it looks a lot like this Hoover Dam lit up at night. There are also fallen angel statues at the Hoover Dam, and I'm going to show you those. These are all at the Hoover Dam. Now, why on earth would there need to be some sort of angelic statue at the Hoover Dam? These are all there, people. And I've never been to the Hoover Dam. Maybe somebody can comment who's been there and actually read this. But I believe this dam is a release of some sort of fallen angels. And I believe that this dam could be blown up in some sort of release. And in fact, there is a guy running for senator, or I'm sorry, not senator, but he's running for governor of Nevada, who wrote an article on this. And you can go to this guy's website right here, Jonathan Kleck, and he goes into much more detail on this Hoover Dam thing than I can. But this guy wrote an article on it, and guy that wrote the article is David Leroy Vanderbeek. And he, with all the stuff that's in the money, the Twin Towers and everything else, that's depicted on our currency, he decided to write a letter, and it's ridiculous of how strange this is. This statue in particular caught my attention. It looks an awful lot like the woman's reproductive system, and you can. This will come to an effect here in a minute. I'll show you something very similar, and also it looks like the head of a goat. So there's some strange things going on. So some might ask, like, are there fallen angels in the Bible? And I believe that there are fallen angels in the Bible. In Genesis 6, it reads, when men begin to multiply on the face of the land, the daughters are born unto them, the sons of God. Now, sons of God in Hebrew is called B'ni El Elohim, and that means a direct creation of God. We are, as humans, creations of Adam, sons of Adam, but the sons of God are angels. And they saw that the daughters of man were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose. Then the Lord said, my spirit shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. His days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of man, they bore children with them. These were the mighty men of old, the men of renown. Nephilim is angel and human offspring. Nephal means to fall. They are fallen. And here's some more verses that are also in the Bible to give you an idea of what we're dealing with. Genesis 3:15, and I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your seed. He's speaking to Satan here. Between your seed and her seed, and it shall bruise your head, and your seed shall bruise his heel. Enmity between your seed and her seed. He's speaking to Satan. What is Satan's seed? Fallen angels multiplying with women. So here's some other versions. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against authorities, against cosmic powers over this present darkness, against spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places. These are all tribes of Nephilim, right here. Anakim, Emim, Zumzum, all these different. Joshua fought all these, and this is why God had the Israel destroy all these villages, these people, men, women, and children. They were all offspring of the Nephilim. It's DNA manipulation is what it is. You have Goliath. He's the prime example of Nephilim. Also, there's the book of Enoch, which I will throw slides up there of the book of Enoch. And it shows Genesis 6 right here. It takes this and shows it in great detail. And I will throw some of that on this video as well. Look at our date. We're at 2011, November 11. We got as many 11s as we can possibly get. And let's go to Virgo. Now, we have Saturn in the womb of Virgo. So we have Saturn in the womb of Virgo, and he is right on the inside. Now, this isn't going to mean a whole lot to you unless you've seen the other videos. That's what I'm saying. It's important for you to see the other videos to understand the significance here. This isn't all. This is just the beginning. So let's turn on the slides, or the constellations here. Now, the sun always depicts what the focus is in constellations. And the sun is shining through Libra. And as you know through my previous videos, Libra is judgment. coming judgment. And here the sun sits in the triangle of Libra, showing us coming judgment through the birth of Satan. And you know that Scorpio is also represented as Satan. And we've talked about this, bruising of the heel and him being crushed. And you can easily crush a scorpion. That's what I'm saying. You got to see the other videos. If you haven't, then please do so before you watch this one. Otherwise, it's going to have no significance to you. And we have a message, Mercury and Venus and Antares. Antares means against Christ. The scorpion is depicted as Satan. And you have a message, and Venus is also depicted as Satan as well. Where, oh, how you have fallen, O morning star, son of the dawn. Venus is the morning star. Isaiah 14:12 calls Satan the morning star that has fallen. So pretty interesting. Now, what's even more interesting is the alignment of these three right here. And I'm going to show you something pretty amazing. Additionally, we have war with Leo. And as you know, Leo is the returning Christ. This is the seed of the woman. You go 12 constellations all the way around. Leo is the last. This is the first. This is the last. Behold, I am the first and the last. Leo is the last. He will come as the lion, as the tribe of Judah. In Revelation 5:5. War. There's our sign. Okay, so here is our three stars. We have Venus, Mercury, and Antares. This was in the constellation of Scorpio that we took a picture of. And I want to show you something. You might have seen this alignment before, and I'm going to bring up a picture. Does this look familiar? Now, I don't know if this is actually true. If this is not, some people say this is Orion's belt. Could be. And this also could be the same pattern in Orion's belt. I don't know. But I find it pretty significant. And I didn't find this on my own. Something told me in my mind to find this. And here it is together. I'm I find it pretty amazing. I'm a little kind of speechless. But if it is, hallelujah. I mean, we're going home soon. But if it's not, I don't know what else it could be. But I find this pretty astonishing, pretty amazing. I got to take a look at it again. So here's the sign in Scorpio. All right. Here's the pyramids. And here they are together. I mean, that's pretty amazing. This could be Orion's belt, and this, like I said, this could be the same pattern of Orion's belt. I don't know. Orion, though, to me, is the Redeemer of Christ. It's not, anything evil. This is evil. These were made by fallen angels. These were not made by humans. Or, they were directed by fallen angels, put it that way. And, whether or not you want to believe that, that's fine. I don't care. But in my opinion, this you cannot make some of this stuff it's outside of our time, outside of the time period. And so I believe this might be some sort of pattern or keyhole or some sort of, who knows? But to me, it matches pretty good. All right, well, let's go to the solar eclipse. Now, one thing about the solar eclipse, and here's our date for it. It's on the 25th. Here's our 11th. One thing that's neat about the solar eclipse, and that I discovered, is it's like a crowning of a baby, a birthing process. And I didn't discover this on my own. This was told to me as well, that this is a birthing process. And so keep that in mind. But let's go to the Stellarium program and see. I'm sorry, it's not Stellarium. It's It's redshift. But anyway, and see the solar eclipse. And there it is. If you've seen my other videos, then this makes perfect sense. Right there in Scorpio, right there in Satan. And there's our solar eclipse. It's a partial solar eclipse, so it's nothing crazy to look at, but it sits right there, right in Scorpio. So pretty amazing way for God to get our attention. I hope people are listening. And it shows Venus and Mercury, um, right there, leaving. Let's go ahead and back it up to the 11th and see all this get in position. So there's our November 11th. And it goes right into judgment on that day. Judgment is coming. Alright, so the 4th, the 5th, everything's cool until you hit the 11th. And there's judgment. Libra, judgment. And this lines up perfectly right over here. So if we go to the 25th, Sun moves right in, Saturn stays the same, and there's our eclipse. Right there. Wow. That's just absolutely amazing. Let's see what Mars does during this whole time. We'll come back to it. We'll go all the way to the eclipse day. There's our eclipse. Okay, Mars has moved out, but Satan's still there in the womb, actually falling a little bit. Like he was at that border right there, and now he's dropped. So it's the crowning right here of him coming out. Now, like I said, I don't believe Satan is in total control of this earth right now. The Holy Spirit's still here, but I think this is some sort of spiritual release or something. I don't know, but there's definitely something strange going on. It's in the stars. I mean, you got people eating hearts out of people in the East who are fighting each other. I mean, this is just getting absolutely ridiculous of what's going on. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you see something different, please let me know. If anyone has any ideas about the sign back here on the 11th, as far as being part of the pyramids, um, I'd love to hear your ideas. I'd love to hear what you think. But I think it's pretty astonishing. All right, let's go back. I want to look at that one more time. And I'm gonna close the video with this here. But thanks for watching. God bless you guys. Find Jesus Christ today. Time is getting very, very short, very short. And take care.